a creative resistance, for it must find human ways that engage the humanity of the enemy. Seeing the image of God in the face of the enemy means taking up positions in the light of this vision of active resistance to stop the injustice and oblige the perpetrators to end their aggression and thus achieve the desired goal. And what is our desired goal? Is to get back the land of Palestine, to work for freedom, to achieve dignity and independence. And I'm going to end with also some words. But before I do this, I want to say something about the Palestinian Christian community. Because I'm sure some of you would say, where do these Christians come from? It's very interesting to point out that here in South Africa, most of the people of South Africa are Christians. And the Muslim community, as I heard this morning, about 2%, the Muslim community. Well, back home, at the end of the 4th century, a few hundred years before Islam started, Palestine had become a Christian country. Because Jesus Christ, Sayyidina al-Masih, Sayyid al-Masih, was born in Palestine. And he grew up in Palestine. And that's where he lived. And that's where he preached. So the whole country of Palestine became Christian. And our roots as Palestinian Christians go back to that time. When Sayyid al-Masih was there, and he had his Sahabi, his disciples. Our language is now Arabic. But in those days, we used to speak Aramaic, which was the language which Sayyidina al-Masih was speaking. And then, in the 7th century, the Muslims came. And then we started having Muslims and Christians living together, and Jews. So we used to live together in peace. But over the years, we also started losing some numbers. And then, when Israel was founded, many Palestinian Christians left the country. Today, our numbers are very small. We are actually the reverse of what you are here. Here, mainly Christians, 2% Muslims. Back home, mainly Muslims, less than 2% Christians. And we bring you greetings from your brothers and sisters who are Christians, but we all stand in solidarity with one another. Because we and the Muslims are one people. Ethnically, we are the same people. You could be Muslims, you could be Christian. And before 1948, we used to have Palestinian Jews. Nowadays, we don't have Palestinian Jews, but we still have Palestinian Muslims and Palestinian Christians. And in the Kairos, we have some words that we give to the Muslim community, our brothers and sisters. Let me read you what we say. We say our message to the Muslims, a message of love and of living together. It's very interesting. At Sabir, the program that we have for between us and with the Muslims, we call it living together. Because that's what we do. We live together. We have been oppressed like the Muslim community has been oppressed. We are oppressed not because we are Muslims or we are Christians. We are oppressed because we are Palestinians. Because the Zionists want the land of Palestine. It's not a matter of Muslim or Christian. It's a matter, we are Palestinians, they want our land. And that's why the confiscation of the land of Palestine. And here we say, when we speak to our Muslim brothers and sisters, it's a message of love to them and living together. And the call to reject fanaticism and extremism, because we have in our community extremists. Sometimes we have Christian extremists, and sometimes we have Muslim extremists, and we have many Jewish extremists. And so we say our message is a message of love to our Muslim brothers. It is also a message to the world that the Muslims are neither to be stereotyped as the enemy, nor caricatured as terrorists, but rather to be lived with in peace and engaged with in dialogue. This is the message of the Kairos. And you know, we are spreading this Kairos document throughout the world. It is already translated into so many different languages. You know, yesterday we launched this Kairos in Africa. Can you believe it? We have it now in Africa because we want the people to hear the message of justice and the message of peace. And we say the word of faith says to anyone engaged in political activity, human beings were not made for hatred. It is not permitted to hate, neither it is permitted to kill or to be killed. The culture of love is the culture of accepting the other. Through it, we reflect ourselves, we perfect ourselves, and the foundations of society are established. So these are important words that we have. May I have a few more minutes? Thank you. I want to talk a little bit about the political situation. We all are living under the occupation of Israel. And I mentioned about the importance of resistance. And we are working for freedom, for liberation. And we are working for independence, the independence of Palestine from the occupation of Israel. And the Palestinian Christian community has many institutions that serve. We serve our brothers and sisters regardless of their background. We have hospitals, we have schools, we have orphanages, we have many different institutions, Christian institutions, but most of the people who are in those institutions and the institutions serve them are Muslims, because we are one community working together. And I think this is important. And we need your help. During the apartheid years, I would say almost all Palestinians, Muslims and Christians, were with the people of South Africa. And when apartheid was over, we rejoiced with you. And I know many of you are praying for us and are working with us against the occupation, because the occupation of Israel to the Palestinian territories is illegal under international law. And so we are trying to uplift international law and end the occupation. So I want to say, may God bless you. Please remember Palestine in your prayers. Please stand. I think we need to work together in this country so that the South African government would begin to see that what is found now in Palestine is apartheid. And when Desmond Tutu, Bishop Tutu, came to visit us, and he saw what's happening there, and then many other South African people came to visit us in Palestine. And when they saw how we live under the occupation of Israel, many of them said, what we see in Palestine is the worst, is even worse than what was happening under apartheid in South Africa. So many people are witnessing to that. And we hope that through your help, the South African government would declare that what's happening in Palestine is apartheid. And it must stop. There is no place in the world today for apartheid, for racism. People must live in dignity, must live in democracy. All of us are equal under God. And we worship God, the God who calls us to serve one another, to love one another, to work for justice, for peace, for dignity, and for freedom. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Please extend my greetings and love to Imam Rashid, whom I love dearly, and I hope I will see you again. And
Sure.
please come to visit us in Palestine. We would love to have you. We would love to host you. We would love to extend to you the same hospitality that we have, as a delegation, we have felt so warmly by the people of South Africa. So thank you for this opportunity, and may God bless us all. Assalamu alaikum.